How many people there consider themselves Jewish, and how did it manifest itself?
Biafra in total has about a population of, say, 70 million people scattered all over the world. As you know, they've called us the wandering Jews of Africa. But those that identify themselves with their Jewish heritage is nearly about 50 million people.
15 million people?
50 million people.
Do they practice Judaism? They practice Judaism?
A significant number of them practice Judaism.
In what way?
In terms of their prayers, in terms of the Torah that they read, in terms of the kippah and the talit they use to pray, in terms of their recitation of their prayers, is a very significant segment of the population that actually practice it as we do, or most of us do in IPOB.
What do you want? You want an independent state of Biafra? You want to be a Jewish state? You want kind of autonomy? What did you like? What do we want?
We want
an
independent Jewish state, a Biafran state that is absolutely independent of anything to do with Nigeria, for the simple reason that we were independent before the British came.
But you want to be a Jewish state?
Absolutely.
Is there anyone within the Israeli establishment that recognized you as a Jewish people?
Absolutely. I'm sure that during the time of...
Do you have any expectations from Israel government, from the Israeli society?
Yes, it is to live up to the obligations to defend Judaism and Jewish faith all over the world. We are being persecuted. We are suffering as a people. And it is the responsibility, I believe, moral responsibility of Israel to make sure that Biafra stands as an independent entity in Africa.
From that interview, we have come to the point of international diplomacy, religious international diplomacy.
That is what we shall be discussing tonight on People's Parliament. Jewish or Christian state of Biafra? Which one do you think is right for Biafra? Do you think Biafra can get support from Israel or Rome using religious diplomacy? Join the discussion tonight by 7 p.m. on live broadcast and find out on our special program, exclusive on BVI Channel 1.
Hello?
How many people there consider themselves Jewish?
Hello?
And how did it manifest itself?
Biafra in total has about a population of, say, 70 million people scattered all over the world. As you know, they've called us the wandering Jews of Africa. But those that identify themselves with their Jewish heritage is nearly about 50 million people.
15 million people?
50 million people.
Do they practice Judaism? They practice Judaism?
A significant number of them practice Judaism.
In what way?
In terms of their prayers, in terms of the Torah that they read, in terms of the kippah and the talit they use to pray, in terms of their recitation of their prayers, is a very significant segment of the population that actually practice it as we do, or most of us do in IPOB.
What do you want? You want an independent state of Biafra? You want to be a Jewish state? You want kind of autonomy? What did you like? What do we want?
We want
an
independent Jewish state, a Biafran state that is absolutely independent of anything to do with Nigeria, for the simple reason that we were independent before the British came.
But you want to be a Jewish state?
Absolutely.
Is there anyone within the Israeli establishment that recognized you as a Jewish people?
Absolutely. I'm sure that during the time of...
Do you have any expectations from Israel government, from the Israeli society?
Yes, it is to live up to the obligations to defend Judaism and Jewish faith all over the world. We are being persecuted. We are suffering as a people. And it is the responsibility, I believe, moral responsibility of Israel to make sure that Biafra stands as an independent entity in Africa.
From that interview, we have come to the point of international diplomacy, religious international diplomacy.
That is what we shall be discussing tonight on People's Parliament. Jewish or Christian state of Biafra? Which one do you think is right for Biafra? Do you think Biafra can get support from Israel or Rome using religious diplomacy? Join the discussion tonight by 7 p.m. on live broadcast and find out from our special guest, exclusive on BVI Channel 1.
The lies and the truth.
the pains and the gains. Holding your leaders accountable for their actions and inactions on People's Parliament. Join millions of our people worldwide live tonight on BVI Channel 1 as we bring you People's Parliament, where we sit face to face with our leaders in different capacity, asking them probing questions for their actions and inactions. Time 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. tonight. Call our mobile or WhatsApp on 0810454533 or call our Skype BVI Channel 1 to ask your leaders questions and be the judge. If they fail to answer you on People's Parliament, they are not your leaders.
Hello, my esteemed viewers all over the world. This is BVI Channel 1. I welcome you on tonight's live broadcast on People's Parliament. We are talking about the religious diplomacy, the international religious diplomacy. We all have been caught in the debate after the director of Radio Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, during his interview in Israel, said that while answering the question thrown by him by the interviewer there, said that he wants what they call Jewish State of Biafra. So that has ignited a public debate among the Biafran people. They are talking about, should they have religion intertwined with the agitation for the freedom of Biafran people. So because of that, we have a brother, a leader of the people, and also a professional when it comes to international diplomacy. I'm talking about no other person than the barrister, Emeka Emekeswe. Hello, barrister. It's a pleasure having you on BVI People's Parliament tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm very happy to be in your midst.
All right. The short, quick one, we're going to have it as a quick and a very brief live program. Don't forget that this is a live program. While the program is on, you are free to call to make your submission, but we are not expecting much call because we have limited time to run on this interactive section, I will call it. Now, barrister, tell us a bit about the importance of, let's start with the diplomatic engagement in freedom fighting. Tell us a bit of what is expected of a freedom fighting or agitation for self-determination through international diplomacy.
Yeah, we are engaged in international diplomacy. What really is diplomacy? It is a way of dealing with people sensibly and tactfully, with tact and with wisdom to get what you want, but at the same time respecting people's rights and opinions without being unfair in dealing with people. So any diplomacy that does not take into account the people's welfare, the people's fairness, dealing with people fairly, that diplomacy has a question mark. It's all in the art of negotiation. The best negotiation is the win-win negotiation, where each party feels happy. Coming out from that negotiation table, each party feels happy. That is it. So diplomacy is the art, I would like to say, art and science of dealing with people sensibly and tactfully to achieve a desired goal that will be beneficial to everybody that is involved in that negotiation. You know, when you do diplomacy and you come out, the other person feels bad and feels cheated, he goes around to find a way to undo whatever you have done. He finds a way to deal with you in another way and put you in a disadvantage. So we want a situation where diplomacy will be beneficial to all the parties involved in that negotiation scale.
Okay,
I hope you understand what I mean.
Exactly, I understand you perfectly. Now, following the interview granted by Nnamdi Kanu in Israel just a few days ago, where he was asked about, what he wants actually in his agitation. He made mention that he wants what he called a Jewish State of Biafra. And since that time, there has been an uproar. There has been mixed reaction among various Biafra sectors. And also when he answered the question of the population size of Ndi Igbo or Biafrans that practice Judaism. So now from the whole thing, can deduce from the interview that Nnamdi Kanu is opting for what I call religious diplomacy, using religion as a diplomatic tool to lure the state of Israel to support Biafra agitation. Now, some people have said that it is a positive step, while some people are saying that it is not to the good of Biafran people owing to the fact of their exclusive identity as a people. So tell us your own perspective about engaging in such religious diplomatic mission. We also have to understand, you have to understand also that majority of the Biafran people are what I call Christians. So you tell us from your own perspective what you think about that mission.
From what you said, when Nnamdi was interviewed and he said he wanted a Jewish Biafran state, a Biafran Jewish state or Jewish Biafran state.
Exactly, that's what he said.
That is what he wants. But the question is not what he wants, but what we want. What do we want? Not what Nnamdi wants.
Okay, now let's shift away from Nnamdi Kanu as a person. We are talking about engaging in religious diplomacy. Let's now shift from Nnamdi Kanu, whether he wants it or not. Do you think it is an important tool to when you are engaging in international diplomacy?
I answered you because you said when he was interviewed, he said, "I want the Biafran Jewish state." That is not what he wants. But I now said that is what he wants, but that is not what we want. Now, your question is that, is it right to use religion as a tool in diplomacy? That's your question, right?
Exactly.
Okay, fine. What some people call religious diplomacy may actually turn around to be religious deception and hypocrisy. In the first place, the people you are dealing with, for instance, the Israeli government knows very well that we are 99% Christians. They know that. The statistics are there all over the world that the southeastern region of Nigeria is 99% Christians of different denominations. Yes, we are different denominations. We can be quarreling among ourselves as Christians. Some say they don't wear earring. Some say they don't wear palm hair. Some say they don't wear. So where we work, that is this internal administrative disagreements among us. Yes, that is how it is. But we are all Christians. And we believe in Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. And now, if somebody now says he's going to Israel to tell them that we are 50 million Jewish adherents, they know the truth. They know that we are not 50 million Jewish adherents. We are Christians. So, if you are saying, can we use that as a diplomatic tool? The first thing is that the people you are dealing with are not fools. The Israeli government their own diplomats. They are not stupid. They also know that we are Christians. But now the question is this: must Israel require us to convert to Judaism before they can help us, if they are able to help us? Are there no countries Israel has helped who are not Jewish? That is a question. You don't need to play that what you call religious diplomacy in order to win the favor of Israel, because Israel has helped so many countries without insisting that they should convert to Judaism. So in fact, I don't see it as wise, as intelligent, as tactful. I rather see it as deception.
Okay, now.
In fact, Israel will in fact respect you more if you come clean.
All right.
We are Christians, yes.
Okay.
Even if you are trying to link our relationship by our descendants or something like that, it doesn't stop you from practicing your religion.
All right, okay. Now you've tried the cause there. You've made that very point, because that is exactly why I wanted to call you back. Because if you listen attentively with what Nnamdi Kanu said in that interview, he's actually talking about the cultural linkage between Ndi Igbo, the Biafrans, and the Jewish people. Where I believe he might get it wrong is when he said the practice of Judaism. Because Judaism is quite different from being a Jew or having ancestral link with Jewish people, because even in Israel, you have Muslims there, you have Christians there, you have those practicing Judaism and other religion. Now, the fact that we want to bring out on this is, does it have any, has it been done anywhere where religion is used as a tool for diplomatic engagement? Because we have seen the president of Nigeria, the current president, asking for the Palestinians to be recognized as a free and independent state. He recognizes the affiliation, the Islamic affiliation between his faith and that of the Palestinians. We have seen in the past where the former head of state of Nigeria signed off Nigeria as a member state of Islamic, the international body that is holding the Islamic countries together. I think they call it Islamic countries or something. It's an association of those international.
OIC.
OIC, exactly. Now, looking at that, it is some sort of international diplomacy, because international diplomacy had to do with one country relationship with another country. So, Nnamdi Kanu's move to entice the Israelis using the identity of Jewish cultural heritage exhibited, enshrined in Igbo cultural heritage and practices, but trying to talk about Judaism as a religion, do you think it's going to ignite religious controversy among the Biafrans, whom you pointed out clearly that are predominantly Christians? Do you see any advantage in not only in Judaism? We've seen members of pro-Biafran group go to Vatican to see the Pope, and other missions, the ones I believe the Biafran people have no connection with is Islam, but for Christianity and Judaism, at least insignificant amount of people, I can agree, practice Judaism in Nigeria, but it is not popular among the Igbo. So now tell us, do you see any importance or advantage or positive effect of engaging in such kind of diplomatic mission?
Okay. Now, if you are talking about cultural similarities, cultural affinity, cultural affiliation, that is different. For instance, we, the Igbos, we practice the Torah customs. All the customs that are in the Torah. That is the 5 books of Moses. We practice them. But we practice these things not as a matter for eternal life, but as culture. For instance, every Igbo man on the 8th day must circumcise his child, his male child, on the 8th day. Now, we have the Ibankpedi, which the Jews call Shiva, where the widow will stay indoors for 8 days, mourning, weeping for the husband. Ibankpedi, Shiva. Now, we have Unwaja, when we will do fasting before the festival, the New Yam festival, which they call Yom Kippur in Israel. We have the kinsman redeemer, which we call Ikuchuwany, like happened in the story of Ruth. That if I die now, leaving my wife, my brother will inherit her, and she will give birth to children that will bear my name, so that my lineage will continue, which is in the Torah, which we practice. We have so all those things. These are customs. We do them not for the sake of eternal life, but it's our culture. So it doesn't stop us from practicing our Christianity.
Okay. Now that you said that, now let's go down to the real thing, because we have less than 5 minutes to conclude this short interview with you. Now tell us, you as a brief Biafran leader, pro-Biafran leader, what kind of diplomatic mission do you think, in a jiffy, do you think that would be most effective to get Biafran people?
We're already on it. No, we're already on it. But the thing I'm saying is that there should be no deception or hypocrisy. We have got in touch.
Tell us what you have been doing.
We have got in touch. You're asking me a question. Now let me answer.
Right.
We have got in touch with British government, and they know us, and we are talking with them. In fact, the first country that invited us was Australia, and it was Nnamdi Kanu that we sent here. We bought our ticket, sent him, and to go with 5 other people to represent us in that discussion. We paid for all those things, and they know who we are. Australia is a Christian nation. They know us. So we are already talking with the countries, and we are not saying we want to convert to this or before you can help us. They know who we are, and we're already talking, and they are giving us listening ear.
Okay, now, do you have any concrete diplomatic arrangement that you're making apart from Australia and Britain? Because I've had you visit ECOSOC and all that.
Yes, we have got in touch with so many countries we are discussing with. The thing with Biafrans is that they hardly follow the proper channel. They like propaganda. That's the problem. Listen, well, I may say it openly. When I went to have the AU meeting. The AU meeting. Now, the African heads of states and their representatives, they were interested in Biafra. In fact, the head of ECOSOC said that they would like Biafra to be debated in the council.
So,
and when I came, when I came home, I reported this. But what did our people do? With propaganda, they destroyed that move.
So that diplomatic channel has been closed. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it has been, let's say closed or suspended. Let me say suspended because I called the head of ECOSOC, the head of AU ECOSOC some time ago, and he was surprised that we didn't follow up. Because he gave me his number. If you look at that photo I took with him, where I was giving him a copy of my book, the man that is the head of ECOSOC, the head of AU.
So you are totally saying...
He was surprised. He was surprised that we didn't follow up.
What actually stalled the follow-up of that diplomatic engagement?
Are you not aware of all the attacks I received and all the things the Biafrans did, including this Nnamdi Kanu you are talking about? They destroyed everything we did with propaganda.
What, in fact, Barrister, currently, our people want to understand exactly what you are doing at the moment. We are not interested in what any other person is doing. We are interested in what
all I'm saying
a
that,
particular person is doing.
okay, but yes, but the thing is this: they will not promote what the pictures are there, the reports are there. When I came back, every person saw it. It's on the internet. Even up to now, it's on the internet. You can still share it. Even you, as a media person, you can share the news, share the report. It's already there. Okay. And then if people are now willing, they can now go, we can now reignite it and say whether we can revive the old things we have done, whether we can
go
back to those.
You are not doing anything currently on the diplomatic mission. Why can't and you don't see anything positive coming out from that move? Maybe trying to lure Israeli people using religious or cultural identity. You know, let's now use cultural identity.
There's nothing wrong. No, I said there is nothing wrong with identifying our culture with their culture and asking them for help. Yes, there's nothing wrong with that. But to say we have to be converted to Judaism, that is wrong. That's what I'm saying. It is right to say we have similar culture with you. We believe that we have the same ancestral linkage with you. Come and help us. That is fine. But to say that we Christians should now deny Jesus Christ and convert to Judaism before Israel can help us, recognize us, no. In fact, I will say like Esther in the Bible, Esther chapter 4, verse 14. Like Mordecai said to her, if at this time you refuse to help us, don't worry, God will raise help somehow and we shall be free.
Okay.
If Israel will not help us unless we convert to Judaism, God will help us.
I understand you, because to me, as a person, my own personal opinion on this whole thing is that whenever Biafra comes, on my own personal opinion, it will be a state where people will be free to practice whatever religious affiliation they want to.
That is what we believe.
I think it is not between. I think Nnamdi Kanu has the right as an individual to use his own religious affiliation to lure the country he believes that are into their affiliation. If Christians, paraventure, the so acclaimed Christians of Igbo extraction, if they could use their own religion to attract countries like Vatican and other Christian countries to support the Biafra agitation for freedom, I think it would be a positive thing. Don't you think so?
Yes, now that is it. We all the time we have been going. We have visited these countries that are Christian countries. We have even sent our documents to America. We've sent our documents to all these Christian nations, even Germany.
Yeah.
In fact, it got to a point where Germany was even was about to give us a house that Angola left.
Okay.
You know, we are raging, we are moving fast that time before all the propaganda came and scattered everything.
All right. So hold on now. Where we're going to wrap it up is that if you look at some of the reaction of some Biafran people on the social media who say that the problem we are facing today is as a result of Christianity. In fact, even Nnamdi Kanu punctured it during that interview when he said that it was the influx of Christianity that, you know, destroyed our way of life and made us not to identify with our Jewish way of life. That is what he said. Now, and some people are saying that Britain, which many consider that they are the originators, the people who put this Nigeria together through colonization and who have vowed that we are going to continue to remain as a colonial entity of Britain. They have been, some people have already said that Britain played a very big role to stall the Biafra freedom between the 1967 to 1970 genocide. They played a huge role and all of that. Now, many people are now saying that Christian churches in Nigeria are not helping matter when it comes to the agitation of Biafra. What is your perception about that? Do you agree with that?
I agree with you. I agree with you. You know why I say I agree with you? Britain, that is supposed to be a Christian nation, did not use religion, did not place high price on religion when the issue of Biafra and Nigeria war started. They rather placed economic interest above religious interest. And that also destroyed the people's faith. A lot of people, in fact, something happened when we were in the law school. Some Muslim students who were arguing with us, usually among students, the arguments, they made a statement that, in fact, brought shame into our faces. They said they will never believe in our religion of Christianity because Britain, that is the headquarters of the Reformed Christianity, has taught them how to rule over us. These are Muslim students engaging us in a debate that they said that Britain taught them to rule over us, and yet Britain. Listen now, I thought you asked me a question, and yet Britain, and yet so they now said because of that.
Those students are talking, they are Nigerians and they are Muslims.
They are Muslim Nigeria. I went to law school in Nigeria.
Okay, go on.
I'm talking about Nigeria. That Nigeria taught them, that Britain taught them how to rule over us. Okay. So when they made that statement, we were ashamed. We were ashamed, yes. We said, yes, well, what you said is correct. We cannot dispute it. But God knows those who are His, and the truth of God can never change. Okay. Even though Britain had economic interests as the major goal.
All right. Now,
but that destroyed the truth.
Now let us finalize it on this note. Barrister, you've talked about economic interest, and we are talking about the religious diplomacy. Do you think using economic tool as a negotiating power for international relations or international diplomacy will work for Biafra much more than religious diplomatic engagement? That's how we're going to be wrapping up. Now you link it up. Then you link it up on why you are proposing.
Yeah, it is economic. Yes, it is.
That will give the Southeast economic independence. Now react to that in just 2 minutes so that I can wrap it up on today's edition.
It is economic interest that the nations are looking at, not religion. In fact, many use religion as a cloak, in fact, deceiving people with religion. But their interest is the economic interest. Even in Nigeria, even in the so-called churches and religions and the Christianity or Islam or whatever, the whole thing is economic interest. They are after their stomach. Even in the churches, the people they say they are born again, or they are pastors or prophets and so on. Go deep and find out it is economic interest. Even in the Biafran struggle, those people that they call Biafran leaders, most of them, it is their stomach, economic interest. They don't even have any work. Here I'm in the chambers. I labor from morning to night. I'm a surveyor, charter surveyor, I'm a barrister and solicitor. I labor and I make money. From the money, I do Biafran work. Most of them are after their stomach. They have no work except Biafra. That's why they eat from. So it is economic interest. Many things, in fact, almost everything that happens on earth, people have economic interest. So it is very rare to see somebody whose motive is highly virtuous. That is somebody that is truly virtuous in approaching this struggle without economic interest.
Now, I think you shifted a little bit. I want you to link up economic diplomacy with what you are agitating for with respect to restructuring, and the restructuring that will give the Southeast, the Biafran land, economic independence. Does it have any linkage with engaging further?
Yes.
Economic? Now, that's what I want you to point to, please. Tell us.
Yes, that's what we want. We want Nigeria to be restructured and grant autonomy to the regions. Every region will govern itself, maintain its resources, and develop at its own pace. Now, if the East, for instance, if we are given that autonomy, now the Western nations, the countries you are talking about, whether Britain or America or they will now know that, okay, they are safe. They can now invest in the East, knowing that the East has resources. They can also invest in the West. They can also invest in the North. All the regions have sufficient mineral resources. You know, you have gold in the north. You have tin. You have even manganese. You have all those precious minerals in the north. You also have in the west. You also have in the east. The whole Nigeria is blessed. All tribes, all regions in Nigeria are blessed. I mean, superfluously blessed with resources. So all these countries will be able to where to invest. Some will invest in the east, some will invest in the north, some will invest in the west, and there will be rapid development. And this oil, people are even scrambling for. Oil is a wasting asset. Very soon, oil will finish and it will dry up. Even now, many nations are now abandoning oil and going into renewable energy, going to windmills, wind vanes, and solar energy, and hydropower, and so on and so forth, and forgetting oil. So these things, this oil will soon become bad markets. So I think it is better now for us to use the economic resources we have to attract investors from outside. If we restructure Nigeria and let every region develop at its own pace.
Okay, so now people are saying they want Biafra outside Nigeria, and you're saying restructuring that will see Biafra people stay in Nigeria. Is there a possibility that when that is gotten, because from Igbo extraction they say Rana go one, where go two, you from one stage to the other, is there any possibility that when you get to that point where the Southeast is economically independent, do you think it is the right time for Biafran people to engage in economic diplomacy, or should they start now to lure countries to support whether your regional agitation or even outright Biafra independence agitation using economic tool? That is the call we want to understand. Because Biafra people are asking questions. They want to understand what you guys are doing.
Our ultimate goal is outright freedom, independence from Nigeria. Outright independence, that's what we are saying. But there is a process for it. Okay, let me ask you a question. If this night, Buhari makes a declaration this night, and say, today I dissolve Nigeria, let every person go to his own place, let Nigeria dissolve this night, and Nigeria disintegrates this night, who will gather us together? What is the structure on the ground for us? Don't you think there will be civil war among us? That people will start killing themselves? In fact, even among the Biafran groups, agitators. For instance, the group of Nnamdi Kanu and the group of Wazirike and the group of the other person that they will be fighting among themselves. Don't you think so? Everything has a process.
So you think that so you think that the regional autonomy will give the regional restructuring for the Southeast, for the Biafra, will give them an ample opportunity to put themselves together and avoid all these crises you're talking about?
That is the point. That is the point. There has to be a regional government that can organize us as a people, and then we build our structures, build our airways, our airports, our seaports, our roads. Put the structures on the ground, ready for nationhood, ready to pull out. At this moment, if you pull out, what do you have? You don't have the structures, you don't have the governance system, the civil service system, all the structures, you don't have them in place, and you want to pull out this night, you will be worse than South Sudan that got independence, and yet they are killing themselves.
All right, thank you very much. On that note, I want to appreciate you sincerely, Barrister Emeka, the chairman of Movement of Biafrans in Nigeria. They are the political arm that are pursuing self-determination. Barrister, I must appreciate you and your effort and what you've done so far for the Biafran agitation. Continue doing what you're doing. The Biafran people appreciate you. Thank you so much for giving us your time on tonight's edition of People's Parliament, Barrister.
Thank you very much.
All right, that is it for today's edition of People's Parliament. We have Barrister Emeka Emekesiri, who joined us from London on tonight's edition. Join us on our subsequent programs on People's Parliament. This is BVI Channel 1. Don't forget, on this platform, we see it, we say it. This is not an affiliation of any pro-Biafra group, but here we give everyone the opportunity to inform Biafran people about what they are doing and answer important questions as to what they are doing, the direction they are going, so that Biafran people will be carried along. And I want to use this opportunity to appreciate everyone who have been following us, who have been sharing and dropping their comments and making this platform to be viable. I want to appreciate you. We also want to appreciate our critics. They make us better by day. Thank you so much for watching this far. I will not go without telling you, click on that red button. If you have not, click on that red button to subscribe and click on the bell for notification. Visit our website, www.bvichannel1.com. If you go to the links, you will be seeing our various app links where you will have access to our applications on Windows, iOS, and also on Android. I am Ashley Peter signing out on this edition, saying, stay blessed, and above all, stay safe. Good night.
Good night.